Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Christmas day. Welcome into an at-home edition of the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, and I'm going to be kind of like the Grinch, although I'm not, because Kevin Stefanski already stole that title after stealing a win from the Browns yesterday with a disastrous second half, horrible play calling and whatnot. The Browns were officially eliminated from playoff contention, and we'll go through all the stats and we'll talk all about it, but I think at the very bare bones, right, the nuts and bolts, the meat and potatoes of this, Kevin Stefanski's team was win and you're out, or lose and you're out of playoff contention. And what does he do? At home against a dome team in negative 15-degree weather, he loses by letting the Saints put up 17 unanswered points, getting outcoached in the second half, and horrible play calling. Like that right there, and I've been a decent Stefanski defender / believer. Impossible to be that right now. So today's video is kind of going to be ripping Kevin Stefanski apart because he deserves it. This team has way too much talent to be this bad. And I'm sorry, my dog decided right now to play with her toys. So, anywho, this team has too much talent to be this bad, right? You have not just 3 Pro Bowlers on this team. You have 3 starting Pro Bowlers. And yet you're going to finish with a below 500 record. That's pretty tough to do. Think about it, right? You've got 3 guys at the best of their position in the AFC. And at best, you're going to win 8 games this season. That's the kind of stuff that a GM goes, we have the talent, but clearly our coaching is not good because we have 3 Pro Bowl starters amongst other great players like Amari Cooper and Wyatt Teller, who's had a down year, but still, like Deshaun Watson. We got all these awesome players, yet somehow we are going to maybe finish 8-9 at best. So here's my question for you before I really dive further into today's video. Do you think Kevin Stefanski should return in 2023? Should he just be given the job right now, going, hey, we traded for Deshaun Watson. You were a big part of it. We're not moving on after you from just 6 games with Watson. Don't worry, you will have 2023. And if that doesn't go well, then we will reassess. Or is it, this is the NFL. This is the not for long league. And you are not showing us any reason to believe you are a good head coach for Deshaun Watson. And you will make an offense that is successful with a player that we're paying $230 million to, and we gave up 3 first-round draft picks and more for. We're not going to waste our time. We've seen enough. I am starting to get closer and closer to the latter of, I used to be a big beat the drum. Hey, there's a difference between what you want to see happen, right? If you want to see Stefanski fired versus what's going to happen. But sometimes these two things, they mix, right? Last year, there were a lot of people that wanted to see the Browns move on from Baker Mayfield and go get a big-name quarterback. And I didn't think that was going to happen, but people wanted that to happen. And what happened? They came together. So I don't think you can just rule out without a doubt, although old me would have, yelled at current me right now. But you know what? Losing 17-10 at home against the Saints, a worse team, when you are supposed to be a team that thrives off home field advantage in December at home in cold weather football, and you let a dome team come to your stadium and put together a better game plan, and most importantly, they took advantage of the weather, right? The Browns did not. It was negative 31, and they threw it 31 times. You want to know how many times the Saints threw the football? 15. Kevin Stefanski threw the ball twice as much as the Saints did. Shouldn't you just maybe take a page out of the Saints playbook across the field from you and go, you know what? They're getting creative with their runs, right? They're bringing Taysom Hill in. They're going wildcat. They are leaning into the fact that it's very difficult to throw the football today. The drops were real, and despite 3/4 of evidence of that, in the 4th quarter, when you had it 3rd and short, an opportunity to go down the field and tie the game, you pass, and on 4th down, you pass. With Nick Chubb. I get it. Kareem Hunt was a bit of a disaster. He rushed the ball 7 times for 8 yards. Go to Nick Chubb. If you go down swinging with Nick Chubb, it's going to be a lot easier than if you decide in negative 20 degrees to throw it 31 times when your best receiver, Amari Cooper, is probably having his worst game of the season with the volume and just inopportune times of drops. You'd rather stick with that? No. Your only touchdown came on the ground when Deshaun Watson decided we're going to run it, right? I mean, come on. It's stuff like that. I want to share this tweet right now. I got it right here. I'll put it on screen for you guys, and I'll read it out. Nick Padone tweeting out, CBS TV reporting, or Jay Jones, CBS TV reporting, Kevin Stefanski is safe. However, Jimmy Haslam enjoyed the air raid attack at Tennessee Vols this year, go Vols, and wants to see the Browns bring someone in to run something similar with Deshaun Watson. Jimmy, I get it. I'm not going to sit here and go, don't do that offense. That was a top 5 offense in college football this year. They scored a ton. But it's not always that easy to go from college football to the NFL. Ask Matt Rule and Nick Saban and lots of other college coaches that haven't worked out. Why? Because Tennessee's air raid offense basically said, hey, this is college football. You don't have starting defensive backs. We're going to go deep. And over the course of 60 minutes, we're going to cash in enough. In the NFL, you are playing against starting defensive backs. DCs are going to learn, they just want to go deep every time. Well, we're just going to take that away. And sure, we might get burned once or twice, but that's not sustainable. So Jimmy, stop. You can't, sorry, I hate to sound like a 1940s, you have to run it 50 times, but you can't just, easily bring in Josh Heupel's offense into Cleveland. That's not how it works. Plus, you don't really have the personnel for it. Amari Cooper is not a burner deep threat receiver. No. DPJ's got some wheels. And then who? David Bell? He was a possession receiver. He's not a deep threat. Michael Woods is a rookie who has fewer catches than his jersey number, I think, right now. So I don't think pushing him down the field is going to help get into a rhythm and a connection with Deshaun Watson in this offense. So, no, that idea just seems rather foolish to me. All right, I've got some other things I want to talk about here, and then I'll let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas day. I hate to take some time away from you. Yeah, Browns were outcoached in the second half. They got outscored 17-0 after going up 10-0. I mean, once again, Stefanski has no response, right? His response is just, let me take this huge Denny's menu and just, shout out to that one guy who had it at the Browns game a couple weeks ago, and just bring it a little closer to my face. When Kevin Stefanski's biggest strength is play calling, and that's right now his biggest weakness, what does he bring, right? His biggest forte, his number one asset is, I'm an excellent play caller. Okay? Your play calling sucks right now. So what else are you good at? What else can you do for us right now? Because it doesn't really seem like he's motivating players on the sideline that, I know we just gave up a 10-0 lead, but we got to rally, and I got to give one hell of a speech right now to fire up the troops in the locker room. No. I don't really get that sense from him. So if he can't do a good job play calling, and he is just not a good coach, I feel like, of bringing out leadership on this team, which a certain element falls on the players. There's a certain, there are one too many examples, one too many video clips on Twitter of, hey, why is there a lack of effort on John Johnson on this play as the running back goes into the end zone? That sure falls on the players a little bit too, but as a coach, you got to hold players accountable. And I'm not really seeing that element from him as a head coach. So to kind of wrap it up and let you guys go back to opening your presents, enjoying the rest of your Christmas, you lost to a dome team at home in cold weather. So if you can't take advantage of home field advantage, which is playing in Cleveland in December, hell, build a dome because you're getting beat by teams who play in a dome, right? That's embarrassing. That's tough. That's supposed to be the DNA and the identity of this team, right? We're hard-nosed AFC North football. We're going to run the ball down your throat, and we're going to make you uncomfortable. No, that's what the Saints did to the Browns yesterday. The Browns were the team that threw it 31 times. The Saints were the one that got creative in the run game and beat up the Browns in the line of scrimmage. In the second half, I'll end on this, 22 passes and 10 runs. You've got a Pro Bowl starting running back in Nick Chubb. Now, I understand we can all agree at times where the ground game is just not working. It's a bit broken. And I guess what I'll say to you say to myself and to you is, all right, Now is not the time to try and lean away from it, though, when it's negative 15. And you're watching the Saints have a ton of success run the football. Like, we can chop that up and diagnose it in practice next week when you're not playing in negative 20 degrees. But throwing it doesn't seem like a better alternative. I agree that maybe you're stuck between a rock and a hard place of like, well, we're not having a ton of success on the ground with Kareem Hunt, and we don't want to go to Nick Chubb 35 times. But you know what's even worse than that? Throwing it 31 times. So, all right, I'm going to let you guys go. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Once again, have a wonderful Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I will sign off and see you all tomorrow. And we're going to talk about Jedrick Wills. We're going to talk about Jed Wills and his future with the Browns because that Jack Conklin extension definitely has Jed Wills probably a bit nervous. All right, subscribe. See you guys later. Merry Christmas.